Hey guys, so welcome to indirectknowledge.com in this YouTube channel. Tonight I've got a tarot card reading and we're just going to go with the first initial G. And G, G's situation is pretty interesting because recently she was in a situation where her boyfriend, whom had been taking care of all the bills and kind of supporting their situation and whom she was looking to as far as building a future and everything with, decided to just kind of part ways and leave and met someone else and just kind of left her high and dry. Now, the apartment was in her name. The bills were all in her name. Their shared cell phone plan was also in, you guessed it, her name. And credit cards, he had used up, they were in her name and her credit. And he ended up using the credit cards to buy this other girl gifts and do a lot of different things. Now, before you get too angry with the guy in this whole situation, we're going to do a tarot card reading, okay? If this speaks to you because maybe you've been in a similar situation or you've had relationship problems where you've been abused or you've been taken advantage of, it can be mentally, it can be financially, it can be physically. Before we get our emotions and things worked up too much, let's just take a deep breath. Very nice. And then we'll just kind of see what we can figure out with this, okay? So we're going to try to find out what this situation is going on here with G is all about and what's going on with the guy and figure out what the next course of action is and what the future has in store for everything. And then just see if we can maybe help in the best way possible. And let's get started. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to take the cards and I like to shuffle them kind of not generically, but just really generally. It's a way of getting the energy off the cards from previous readings, inactivity, maybe hadn't done a tarot card reading in a bit. So, the cards and different things from before maybe still are there in there. So it's just a great way of just kind of clearing the air. So now that I've done that, now we're going to really, now that we have a nice clean deck here, we're going to focus in on this situation with G and just all this financial ruin and different things that's going on. Her not having a job, the bills, she's like 2 months behind on rent right now. This guy, he's out of the picture. He's used her credit card and run up her credit, her debt and different things. And so it's just kind of a nightmare situation if you want to look at it kind of from that vantage point. But we're going to be a little bit more optimistic and a little more positive and find out what's going to happen with this situation and where, what's some practical advice that we can give to G. All right, and I'm feeling like that was the perfect place to do this. So we're going to go ahead and do a 7-card tarot card reading. Okay, I'm just putting these out here to kind of see the big picture right off the bat. All right, so the first thing that we have is this Page of Cups here. Page of Cups is about... pages are messengers, they bring us messages about things. Sometimes we take the advice, sometimes we don't, but at least we kind of know what's going on with this situation. A lot of times when people bring us news, it's not always good news. Most of the time, for a lot of us, it's not hardly ever good news. And so when someone tells you something, it's usually like, oh no, what's going to happen with this? So fortunately, though, like this is just telling us like the situation like that. This was him really kind of more or less leaving the situation. And we see the fish. That's kind of a symbol of like relationships. The cup is relationships. And then the subconscious kind of things that we didn't really see kind of happening. And that was what this was. That's in the past. Probably I'm picking up like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it's not been relatively that long. We're talking maybe June, maybe the first part of July even. But it's tail end of June, first part of July here. Next, we have the current situation. Now, this is an interesting card placement. It's interesting what's coming up, and it's this 10 of Cups. This is really about, you know, mastering relationships, getting what you want out of the relationships, complete and utter total fulfillment. It doesn't really kind of sync with what the situation is, as far as everything that was told to me earlier. This would be more kind of along the lines of like, you know, finding solace in the family, in the relationship, and the people that we're connected to. And so maybe this is giving you this indication of right now, it's like you have a pretty good support system. And so your family is kind of stepping in, they're kind of taking you back into the fold, whereas you've maybe been out of it for a period of time with the boyfriend, living on your own, trying to take care of things. And I'm picking up that maybe the people that truly love you and truly care about you, but the people that also want to kind of let you venture off and kind of get out on your own, those people are there for you. And that's what you're kind of realizing now is like, well, I may have lost the guy that I was in love with. It may be really painful because of the situation and the losses and all this kind of stuff. But I'm so thankful and so grateful that I do have a good family support system in place, and that, my family, parents, siblings, everyone loves me, and they're there for me, and they're there to support and to help me in my time of need. So that's a realization you're getting. Now, the problem with this kind of situation when it comes up, we see this 10 of Cups, it's kind of like the end of the relationship thing, so it also has that leaving us kind of like, not with a bad taste or anything, but just kind of like it's time to move on past relationships. Like that might be where you're at. Whereas the thing that's kind of your salvation, or giving you your hope and kind of helping your situation out, is really the very thing that disrupted it in the first place, only from a different perspective. This is from the perspective or vantage point of the family, your people. So what I would say is, if you're feeling a sense of like trying to like abandon them, or like not really take their help so much, or if you're kind of like just you need your time to be by yourself, totally understand that. That's totally normal, totally good feelings. But at the same time, these people are here for you. They want to be there for you. They'll give you your space, but just a little acknowledgement would go a long way with helping your situation. And it would really bring a lot of smile and a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to them. So yeah, so there's that. And then now we move on to kind of our future. And I'm picking about 5 months for this. And it's really this card of nostalgia, the 5 of Cups. Cups, again, relationships, this whole thing, past, present, and future, all about relationships. But this time it's more about like kind of innocence, and it's about nostalgia, like kind of looking at the relationship, like the good side of the relationship and all the happy moments, without really seeing kind of what the reality really was in terms of the negativity, this person going and leaving you and this, that, and the other. You're thinking about them, even this period of time down the road, and they're coming back kind of, presenting you with gifts and trying to win you back. And you're almost wanting to believe that this person has kind of seen the error of their ways, and that they've come to their senses and realize that, hey, you are meaningful, you are special to me and everything. And so that's that for you guys to kind of take into consideration. So, like I said, 5 months from now, 6, 7, 8 months, whatever that time frame tends to, you'll start to feel it when it does come. Just realize that with the good, there are, with the sweet, better way I like to look at this, with the sweet, sometimes there's also the sour side of things too. Both can be really delicious and, in the right circumstances, but you just got to you got to remember that you have your pros, you have your cons, you have your advantages, you got your disadvantages, you got all these kind of polarities and duality, that you just, at the end of the day, you really just have to take a deep breath and just kind of see it for what it is. Also, you have those two sides of our nature. We have that unconscious side, emotional, feminine, kind of below the surface, more indirect, emotional, sensitive self. And then we also have the more practical, what you see is what you get, more transparent, more out you know, some people would say more truthful side, but truth isn't always black and white. It's not always this way or that way. It's not always give or take. Sometimes there's those gray areas, and that's kind of where that subconscious or unconscious kind of thinking sort of comes into play as well. So just when you start to feel that, remember also too that this is a six. Sevens would be more the spiritual, six would be more the practical. So this would be like, maybe keep our practical senses about us. Kind of a reminder on that. So okay, so that Ten of Cups that we had, I had given you in the beginning of talking about that card, I had said something to the effect of like, whoa, this is sort of in conflict with what, you had kind of given me in terms of instructions and different things. And so it didn't really kind of add up, and I wasn't really getting that, But what was kind of the influence for me, or why I was kind of like not really seeing it for what it was because of the card that actually kind of, covers it or overlays it or kind of brings more meaning or more information about. And that's this Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is, nines in numerology is about endings and completions. 10 in the tarot is really about, finality or conclusion or wrapping things up in its most immediate way, whereas the 9 would be kind of more like really kind of working in that direction, but there's still this period of time that has to happen for the ending to happen before we get back to the 1. So the 10, I always think of as sort of this purgatory or in between a final completion and a new beginning. So it's kind of that lag time, more or less. But this would be your ending right here. This is the ending of activity, inertia, things like that. It's really, excuse me, a little tired here, guys. Been up today a lot, doing a lot of service. But anyways, with this card, it's really about, you're kind of like getting to a place where you're exhausted. Maybe that's why I'm yawning, you guys. So forgive me here, But anyway, it's not a bad card, but it kind of tells us more about that 10 situation, about the endings of things and about how the family then comes in to pick up the pieces and everything. And so that was, turned on the light bulb for me and kind of gave me the information so that I could be able to pass that on to you and help you. Let's talk about where you're at. Okay, G. So, G, the card that you get here is, we just had that 6 of Cups. That's sort of like I said, 5, 6, 7 months out. This is your 6 of Pentacles. This is kind of where your attitude mentality is. And in this way, I really like it. It kind of goes to the heart of where your heart is. And we have the charity of things. Now, the charity person is kind of like, it's both you're both aspects of this, by the way, where you've given and given and given, and you've gratefully done it. And the people that you've given to have been grateful to take from you as well. And in that way, it was like win-win for everybody. You had resources, you had those credit cards, you had this, you had a place to stay, everything was in your name. This person could basically move in rent-free and, rack up debt and be okay. But before we judge that person and where they're at and call them a user or whatever, before we get into that kind of negative kind of way of looking at things, also realize that we're also the other side of it, this too. There's two beggars down there. It's not just one-sided. And so in that way, you've also gotten a lot or are getting a lot now, and families helping and stuff in different things financially and in other ways. And so as a result of that, you're feeling pretty good that, wait a minute, I was able to help someone else out. And now that I'm in need, someone else is helping me. It may not be the person that I helped, but that's okay. It doesn't necessarily always have to be that way. But things come about in their own kind of way. And this is kind of where your thinking is becoming. Your realizations are kind of hitting home. And the practical side of things is being the 6. And then also with the material here that we see, it's really about learning about the ebb and flow of wealth and the ebb and flow of circumstances and situations. I had someone recently ask me for a tarot card reading, and the person was up in age and they had no savings, no retirement, no insurance, all of these kind of things. And they had a lot of debt. And they were just very much certain that they would never be able to retire and have an existence or any kind of life. And they were really depressed about it. And so when we did the tarot card reading and all, we got some good advice and things for them. So it just kind of went to show, and the same thing happens sort of in this on some level, is that sometimes things don't always materialize in the way that we think they should, or or the way that we would imagine that they would. Sometimes they come in completely unexpected. And in this particular case, this Six of Pentacles is really what that is. It's, it's kind of where your mindset and attitude is, and you're becoming mindful of these kind of realizations, knowing that God or the universe, your higher self, however you look at it, whatever level of consciousness you're at, you're realizing now that, okay, I have this, I'm having more faith. This has come about to give me greater faith. And this faith is more than just hope. It's like an inner knowing, and it's an inner realization, an inner sense of, you're feeling very secure about your situation now because of this. And that's helping with that very nicely. And now let's move on to our key, the critical thing here. And this is kind of our answer card. Good card. It's the Eight of Cups. 8 is really a groundedness in relationships. You see this person kind of walking away from those 8 cups, kind of off journeying and different things. But we have the Moon up there too, which is kind of that subconscious, kind of that mesmerizing, kind of hypnotic kind of energy. And it's also about just like being able to take it or leave it. But, also knowing that there's you can still be grounded, and you can still find some kind of groundedness in the situation. And that's what this is really all about. And it's about having an abundance of different relationships at your beck and call. So this is basically your answer is that, if you want a relationship with someone else, it's up to you, But what you're really after more than anything is this sense of groundedness, and like knowing that things are in a good shape, that things are not going to be this very like cyclical or up and down or turbulent kind of situation anymore. Whereas in the past, in the near past, within the last several months, but at least up to like the last month or so, things have been really kind of like shaky ground for you, and they just kind of were out of the norm for you. And now you're trying to get to a place of like just having that greater sense of like clarity and calm, and the inner knowing that you're going to sleep tonight on the same pillow you did last night. And so you have some of that groundedness there for you. What is our outcome to all of this situation, for everything you asked me about, like with this relationship, even the questions I didn't mention, just to protect because of your desire for me not to? This is our Two of Pentacles. Very, very good card for this particular reading. It's about balancing things out. You're on one foot, you have room for the other foot. You see that with the person here. We still have a little bit of that volatility and things in the backdrop, but notice it's in the back of you, so you're not really seeing it anymore. So that's kind of things from the past. And as far as money and things goes, it's about weighing options. Groundedness is there for you, but you wanting something that's a little bit more fixed, something more secure, and it's right there for you at your beck and call. You just have to reach out and get it. And so many different options. That's going back to that Eight of Cups that we had for that. Again, so very, very good tarot card reading. I know right now things seem confusing. Things seem up and down. It can be very disconcerting. This person broke your heart, but at the same time, they stole from you, and you care more about them than you do the money, and that's the painful part of this. But luckily, thankfully, you have a great support system and all that's coming in to pick up the pieces to help you out. All you have to do is kind of just learn from this situation and decide that what you want in the future is something that's going to be more grounded, and to know that, should something happen, you're going to be in a good situation no matter what. You're not going to have to you're kind of not going to put the cart before the horse, so to speak, but you're going to actually do things a little bit more practically. You have all those sixes in this reading, and that's kind of the advice that the tarot's kind of. Oh, sorry guys, yawning a little bit more. So that's pretty much it. So this is a very good tarot card reading. You don't really have anything to really so much worry about. Just, keep it in your mind that that what you're desiring is there, and that, even when you have all this opportunity, you may still walk away from some of it in pursuit of other things, But at the end of the day, it's really that sense of wanting to be more grounded and have that kind of security and that inner knowing that things are going to be the same pretty consistently and not be stirred up too much. And that's where you're going with everything with this. Hmm. Guys, as a monk, I get up pretty early, and so it's about 10 o'clock at night now. It's 9:57, um, and so I think I'm going to end this live stream. I did have a little bit of news that I wanted to share with you guys. It's good news, so let's put some smiles on our faces, right? And it's for a lot of you that have already purchased the Easy Tarot course, that are in tarot, that want to learn how to read tarot and also be able to profit from it, and be able to serve using the cards to help people in a nice way. So the easytarotcourse.com is where you get the course. If you haven't already got it, you can get it there if you like, and that helps support my work and this channel and so on. But I'm happy to tell you guys that already have the course. It's been a minute since I released another module for the course. I actually just created another lesson today, and it is live on the course now. So if you have the course or access to the course, please enjoy that video. In that video, I actually, and I don't know why I didn't put this in originally. I don't know what I was even thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking, and that's probably why I didn't do it, but maybe everything happens in its own right. You guys just see that fly coming. But anyway, the lesson is really, it's a pretty intense lesson. There's quite a bit that gets covered in it, but it's really ways of like understanding things from this vantage point of how other people see tarot card readings. A lot of times when people first get started doing tarot, there is this sense that you either believe in it or you don't, or you're either receptive to it or you're absolutely against it. It's like there's no in between. And what this kind of teaches you is there's ways of utilizing tarot that goes beyond just simply the spiritual aspects of it, or the occult kind of understanding that some people have of it, and looking at it as a tool, but also looking at opportunities for other reasons, like people would really enjoy it. And so I give a lot of examples in there, and I show you a lot of ways to really be able to get in front of people, get a lot more clients. That, of course, the back side of that, or the residual side of that, is sort of the money and everything. Like if you're into the material side of it, you can, of course, increase your profit and everything like that, financials. But more than anything, it's really about like, how do you just get in front of people and really just make it fun, enjoyable for people, help them, and make things really meaningful. And so I give you kind of like a breakdown of just a lot of really important things that I've gathered and collected. So there's a lot of value just in that new lesson alone. So I hope you get a lot of value out of it. And I hope you'll check it out if you haven't already. And guys, if you haven't joined the email list, at least do that. You can do that at indirectknowledge.com. That's like my little link page where I have a bunch of links and different things on there. There's like a little calendar. Sometimes I have like meetings. People will meet with me and stuff like that for like spiritual counseling and different things I do outside of just this channel. So of course there's that, but at the very top, you'll see a little form. It's just like an email form. You see them, a lot of these little sales pages and all. Trust me, this is not a sales kind of page or anything like that. I'm not here to like, twist your arm or whatever, this is really judgment-free kind of zone, and you can do whatever you want. I'm just here to try to serve and to help. And that's my whole motivation here. So if you want to join the email list, it's great, because then every great once in a while, I'll give, oh, I got somebody coming in. Oh, somebody said scammer on here. M. Woods. Scammer. Interesting. Oh. At least they were able to spell scammer correctly and kind of in alignment. But anyways, if you need a tarot card reading, M. Woods, just let me know. But anyway, okay, I'm going to have to block this person. All right, so we went ahead and had to block that person, and we just can't have negativity on this channel. Sorry, M. Woods. If you would like a tarot card reading, though, you are welcome to hit me up via email if you want. And that goes for any of you guys watching this. And what I was trying to get at before got kind of interrupted here with all of this. That's the thing with doing internet videos. I wanted to take a chance tonight and actually keep the chat open, hoping that people might chime in and actually maybe ask for a tarot card reading or need something. And, just as kind of a service in case someone wanted to reach out or something. I wanted to kind of make that available. But I've turned those comments off. The person is probably under another alias here. We'll just have to put this person in timeout. There we go. So anyway, but this is what you get, like when you put these out, if you have the chat on, invariably, for whatever reason, a lot of times you get people in here that, they have nothing better to do than to spam people and, throw judgment or criticism or critical stuff, at people and whatnot. Even good, meaningful people that just want to help people, they have nothing better to do with themselves. So you see this variation of just the different levels of consciousness where people are at. And it's unfortunate, but that's one of the reasons why, most of the time I keep this channel kind of, I've been just for a long time now, just not even having the chats enabled. And this is the very reason why, just for this very reason. So, but anyway, that aside, so let me just go ahead and put this person in timeout again. They keep on having so many aliases. That's what the scammers or the bots, whoever is doing this, does. So anyways, I don't really want to encourage this, so I may not, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. If you guys think I should do the chat, let me know. I'm always willing to maybe give it a chance, but then again, I have to have someone kind of moderating this for me or something, so that when we have these bots or whatever they're called, or just people trying to disrupt the channel and that, maybe work on getting it moderated or something like that, or have someone maybe help out with that if they want, do that service. Or maybe just leave them off, and if you guys want to connect, or if anyone watching this wants to connect or get a tarot card reading, just hit me up. It's just, my email is chandra108@gmail.com, or you can just simply, I'll maybe put it in the description below this video as well. All the resources, helpbydonating.com, indirectknowledge.com, and the easytarotcourse.com. Those links will be in the description below this video as well. Oh, time to move this person again. There we go. Yep. So I digress. What are you going to do? Hopefully this person gets some value out of the course or the video. Say a little prayer. All right, guys, and so that's going to end it for tonight. If you guys have any questions or need anything, please reach out. I'm always here for you. Much love and many blessings. And I hope everyone is having a really good week. Did a lot of cooking this week for lots and lots of people. We've been having festivals and different things. And yeah, we had some rose lassi with homemade yogurt. Anyways, keep getting these spammers. So guys, we'll see you on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. Much love and many blessings.